Ozark Highlands Radio is brought to you by the Ozark Folk Center State Park in Mountain View, Arkansas, a wonderful way to enjoy yesterday. On the web at ozarkfolkcenter.com.
Hey everybody, this is Dave Smith, host of Ozark Highlands Radio. Welcome to our show. For many years now, we've been featuring some of the best guitar players around with our yearly tribute to the great Merle Travis. On this week's show, we'll be hearing from an extraordinary picker, Thom Bresh. We'll also be hearing from historian Charley Sandage about the origins of Ozark culture and the Ozark Folk Center. And we'll take a trip down into the vault to see what gem Mark Jones has found this week. All that and more this week on Ozark Highlands Radio. The biological son of the guitar legend Merle Travis, Thom Bresh fingerpicks in the style made famous by his father. Here's Thom playing on the Ozark Folk Center stage at last year's tribute to Merle Travis.
Well, I headed out of L.A. on a Sunday in a brand new car. I thought a week back in Nashville ought to make me a country western star. Living in a cheap hotel, my first audition didn't go so well, and the desk clerk wasn't impressed when my last check bounced just like the rest. I got myself a new address. I was living in Coupe de Ville, the only city in the world on wheels, smallest town that you'll ever see. Cause the only population's me. Oh Lord, you ought to see this view I've got of the Waffle House parking lot. Until I find a way to pay my bills, well, I'm living in Coupe de Ville. I was going door to door, hitting all the record companies. I went to Universal, Capitol, Warner Brothers, Sony, and Mercury. About my 27th time around, the secretary took me into Mr. Brown. And when my recital was done, he said, let's do a little business, son. Oh, by the way, now where you from? I said, I'm living in Coupe de Ville, the only city in the world on wheels, the smallest town that you'll ever see. Because the only population's me. Oh Lord, I'll see this view I've got of the Waffle House parking lot. Until I find a way to pay my bills, I'm living in Coupe de Ville. Well, he started grinning, I could see the wheels spinning when he talked about the place I live. So he put me on tour and I made damn sure I played every single bill there is. I've been to Asheville, Cookville, Brownsville, Greenville, Louisville, Jacksonville, Johnsonville, Danville, Clarksville, Crossville, Evansville, Gainesville, Waterville, Hooterville, and I'm still living in Coupe de Ville, the only city in the world on wheels, the smallest town that you'll ever see. They're just the boys in the band and me. Oh Lord, back seat's got a couple bunks, and there's a drummer living in my trunk. Until I find a way to pay my bills, I'm living in Coupe de Ville. Don't guess that we ever will get out of that Coupe de Ville. DeVille. Thank you. I'm going to do you a couple of Merle Travis songs since they're blaming this whole weekend on him. My pappy. Well, I'll tell you, what a life I've had. I got two dads, really. I got a father and a dad. Travis being my father, and my dad that raised me, Bud Bresh, is a photographer for the movie studios, and I was raised on a movie ranch where they made all of the Westerns. I used to get in trouble at school and stuff. Be talking about kids that asked me about it, because the Hollywood Chamber of Commerce made me Hollywood's youngest stuntman because I did a stunt, fell off of a horse for Johnny Crawford in The Rifleman. You're Hollywood's youngest stuntman. You'll be in the Hollywood Parade. Oh, thank you. But I had a great life. Travis and all the musicians around me. Bud Bresh, all the movie people around me. It's been quite a life, and I'm here, and I have Mark Jones around me, and this is a big deal. So I'm going to do you a couple of Merle Travis songs here at the Ozark Folk Center. Roll on, Buddy. Buddy was a mule, by the way. Oh. That's the best mule I can do, I don't know what to tell you. Roll on, buddy, don't you roll so slow. And I guess the mule will say, well, how can I roll when the wheels won't go? Then Travis picked like this. Well, 9-pound hammer, it's a little too heavy for my size, I was going on the mountain, gonna see my baby. I ain't coming back. I ain't coming back. So won't you roll on, buddy? Don't you roll so slow. Well, how can I pull when the wheels won't go? Yeah, roll on, buddy. Pull a load of coal. How can I pull when the wheels won't go? Then you pick a guitar solo. It's a long way to Harlan, it's a long way to Hazard, just to get a little brew, I'll get a little brew. Well, when I'm long, long gone, they can make my tombstone out of number 9 coal, out of number 9 coal. Cause the 9-pound hammer just a little too heavy for my size. Well, come and listen, you fellas, so young and so fine. And seek not your fortune in the dark, dreary mine. It'll form as a habit and seep in your soul until the stream of your blood runs as black as the coal. Where it's dark as a dungeon, damp as the dew, where danger is double and the pleasures are few, where the rain never falls and the sun never shines, as dark as a dungeon way down in I'm gone, and the edges shall roll. My body will blacken and turn into coal. And I'll look from the door of my heavenly home, and I'll pity the miners digging my bones. Where it's dark as a dungeon, yes, damp as the dew, where danger is double and the pleasures are few. It's a folk song. My damn show, I can do what I want. Where the rain never falls and the sun never shines, as dark as a dungeon way down in the mine. Yes, dark as a dungeon way down there in the mine. Here's a song, I gotta tell you a little background on it in case you haven't been around here when I told it, but this is the biggest song Travis ever wrote. It's a song he said he never cared for. I said, what the hell did you write it? He said, record company pressure. They said, Travis, write folk songs. And he's in the Songwriters Hall of Fame, he's in the Country Music Hall of Fame, and also because of these folk songs that he said weren't really folk songs because he made them up and they weren't written by folks. He said he's in the Smithsonian Institute as a great American folk songwriter. And this song here, he says, this is the way Travis talks. You can't do nothing in it. It's just not true, the song. I made it up because the record company says, write more folk songs. People are buying them. And I tried to explain them that people don't write them. And they said, we don't care. Write something that sounds like a folk song. And so he said, I made this song up, and I never did like it until Tennessee Ernie Ford sold 5 million records of it. He said, that's when it became my favorite folk song of all time, I think. I know you've heard it. Here you go, Trav. Well, some people say a man's made out of mud. Poor man's made out of muscle and blood. Muscle and blood and skin and bone. A mind that's weak and a back that's strong. You load 16 tons. What do you get? Another day older and deeper in debt. Well, St. Peter, don't you call me? 'Cause I can't go. I owe my soul to the company store. Well, I was born one morning when the sun didn't shine. Picked up my shovel, walked down to the mine. I loaded 16 tons, the number 9 coal. The straw boss said, well, bless your soul, you loaded 16 tons. What do you get? Another day older and deeper in debt. Well, St. Peter, don't you call me? 'Cause I can't go. I owe my soul to the company store. Well, if you see me coming, better step aside. A lot of men didn't and a lot of men died. I got one fist of iron, the other is steel. And if my right one don't get you, well, my left one will. You load 16 tons. What do you get? Another day older and deeper in debt. Well, St. Peter, don't you call me? 'Cause I can't go. I owe my soul to the company store. This is my favorite part of the whole show. I ask you to sing the song one time, and I get to listen up here. All together now, here we go. It's fun. You load 16 tons. What do you get? Another day older and deeper in debt. St. Peter, don't you call me, 'cause I can't go. I owe my soul. Great. Yeah, 16 tons, what do you get? Another day older and deeper in debt. Well, St. Peter, don't you call me, 'cause I can't go. 'Cause I owe my soul. Sorry. Oh, that's a dirty laugh you got, man. To the company store.
That was Thom Bresh playing Coupe de Ville, The Sidewalks of Bordeaux, 9-Pound Hammer, and 16 Tons. There's plenty more of Tom's good picking to come in the show, but after this break, we're going to go down to the vault to listen to Mark Jones' Pick of the Week. You're listening to Ozark Highlands Radio. Welcome back to Ozark Highlands Radio. It's come to that time in our show where we go down into the vault and visit our friend Mark Jones down there, who keeps all of our recordings from the last 40 years. Let's go down and see what Mark's got for us today.
Hi there, Dave. How are you?
Hey, Mark, I'm doing good. What are you doing down here today?
Oh, just a little tired this morning. I was up all night last night.
What were you doing?
Oh, just thinking about things. And that's hard enough for me.
Yeah, I try to keep away from that thinking business.
It'll get you in trouble.
You got any music for us today?
I do. I run across an old buddy of mine, Greg Moody, and some of the recordings that he did when he was about, 8-year-old, something like that, when the folk center had just opened up. And it's amazing. His mom and dad played instruments, and his dad was Roger Moody, and his mom was Mona Fay.
I remember them very well.
Roger had a music store here in Mountain View for a while, and did pretty well with it.
And as I recall, Greg is still playing music. Isn't he up at Branson now?
Yes, Dave, he sure is, and he's just working himself to death. He does 3 to 4 shows a day, all at different places, and fights traffic in between each place.
Now, I know he's a really good mandolin player, but he probably plays other instruments as well, doesn't he?
He does. He plays pedal steel, and like he may play pedal steel at one show and then go the next show and play guitar. And it's just, it's amazing where his talent and his career has gone. He left Mountain View. Every once in a while, he'll come back down and visit with us during the tribute for my dad.
That's right. That'd be the Grandpa Jones tribute, huh?
That's right. Greg comes in. If he can get away for 2 or 3 days in a row, he'll come down and pick with us. And it's always fun.
What song have you got for us this week?
You know, this recording, he was playing mandolin, and he was just getting his singing together, and it's called Going Down That Road Feeling Bad.
Next, Greg.
I'm going down the road feeling bad. I'm going down the road feeling bad, Lord, Lord. I'm going down the road feeling bad, Lord, Lord. Ain't gonna be treated this way. I'm way down in jail on my knees. I'm way down in jail on my knees, Lord, Lord. I'm way down in jail on my knees, Lord, Lord. Ain't gonna be treated this way. I'm going in, I'm never coming back. I'm going in, I'm never coming back, Lord, Lord. I'm going in, I'm never coming back, Lord, Lord. Ain't gonna be treated this way. I'm going down the road feeling bad. I'm going down the road feeling bad, Lord, Lord. I'm going down the road feeling bad, Lord, Lord. Ain't gonna be treated this way.
Thank you.
Well, it's a great song. How old do you think Greg was when he sang that song?
He's probably 8, 9-year-old, something like that.
Oh, that's pretty good for a young man like that to be singing that well.
That's true. He's a great fella and proud to call him a friend.
Well, if we get up to Branson, we'll have to look for him up there, huh?
You bet. Yeah, I bet you'll find him somewhere.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Mark. Hey, we'll see you next week, okay?
All right, Dave. Thank you.
Thom Bresh didn't begin his music career until he'd worked in Hollywood as an actor and stuntman and gained stage experience singing, doing impressions, and playing guitar in a country pop lounge band led by Hank Perry. Here's some more good stuff from Thom Bresh, recorded on the stage at the Ozark Folk Center State Park in Mountain View, Arkansas.
Travis wrote songs that I call ditty songs. They're like he did one that was all commercials on radio at the time. I'll just give you a taste of these. They always crack me up. I guess they were hits in their day. You know, they're pretty clever songs. But these were all radio slogans. A lot of people don't know that. It's called So Round, So Firm, So Fully Packed. That was about a cigarette. Something there. So round, so firm, and so fully packed. So he wrote this little ditty song, and these are all slogans here. I don't know what key I do it in, because I never do it, but I want to hear it now, so. Well, so round, so firm, so fully packed. Well, that's my gal. She's so complete from front to back car. Oh, that's my pal. Roasted by the sun. I'm a son of a gun. If she don't make my 5 o'clock shadow come around at 1, you could bet your boots I'd walk a mile through the snow just to see that toothpaste smile they mention on the radio. If you don't think she's a lot of fun, just ask a man that owns one. So round, so firm, so fully packed. That's my gal. Here's one that he said he had a rough time getting it on the radio because it had a bad word in it. I just bought me a great long ticket. I'm gonna use it at 4 p.m. so you can call your secret love and tell the news to him. He thought your little romance, thank you, sir, was on the strict QT. So if you want your freedom, PDQ, divorce me, COD. Not supposed to say divorce in those days. No need to crawl down on your knees, 'cause I know all my ABCs. Well, this dynamite you're messing with may be TNT. So if you want your freedom, PDQ, divorce me, COD. Thank you. I'm going to do you one that this has got a cool story about it. Tex Williams told me the story. Well, Travis told me too. When Tex told me that was 2 people telling me the same story. It was pretty good, you know. I thought, well, different time periods, so I guess it's a true story. Tex Williams was a recording artist at the time, in the late 40s, I guess. And he went by Travis's house and he said, Travis, I'm going in the studio tomorrow. He says, and we're looking, we need a hit. We don't seem like we have a hit yet, the songs that we have, but what do you have, Travis? You know, I ain't got nothing. I don't have nothing. But we could, you know, we could make something up. I don't know, but I ain't got nothing. I think for you it'd be a hit. They said, well, okay, let's write something. All right, give me a cigarette. Now I got my pad over here. Texas, I'm out of cigarettes. Travis said, I can't write a song without a cigarette. So the text told me, he says, Travis went in the house, and he was in there about 10, 15 minutes. He comes out, writing on his pad, laughing, puffing on a cigarette. Oh, hey, hear this. He's right. This is the first million-selling record for a brand new company at the time called Capitol Records. This is their first million seller, all because the old man wanted a cigarette. Yeah, smoke, smoke, smoke that cigarette. Puff, 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 and if you smoke yourself to death, tell St. Peter at the Golden Gate, you had to make him wait. You just got to have another cigarette. Well, I'm a fellow with a heart of gold, with the ways of a gentleman, I've been told. Kind of a fellow that would never harm a flea. But if me and a certain character met that guy that invented that cigarette, I'd murder that son of a gun in the first degree. Now, it ain't that I don't smoke myself, and I don't reckon it really hinder your health. I've smoked them all my life, and I ain't dead yet. Nicotine slaves are all the same at a petting party or poker game. Everything stops while you have a cigarette. Smoke, smoke, smoke that cigarette. Puff, puff, puff it if you smoke yourself to death. Tell St. Peter at the Golden Gate, you had to make him wait. You just got to have another cigarette. The other night I had a date. Prettiest girl in these 50 states. Real high-bred, uptown, fancy little thing. She said she loved me, and it seemed to me that everything's just about like it ought to be. So hand in hand we strolled down Lover's Lane. She's oh so far from a keg of ice, and our kissing party was going real nice. And when it showed up, I'd have been there yet. She gave me a kiss and a little squeeze. She said, Bresh, man, excuse me, but I got to have myself another cigarette. Smoke, smoke, smoke that cigarette. Puff, 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 and if you smoke yourself to death, tell St. Peter at the Golden Gate, you had to make him wait. You just got to have another cigarette. I wrote a song about Travis. He asked me one time, he says, Mott, that's what he called me, that's Tom backwards. I don't know why, don't even ask. Mott, have you ever written any tunes about me? I said, you know what, I got like 3 things started, they're really cool. And I got this one, and I mean, he's never wrote nothing, huh? No? But it was about 2 or 3 weeks after he passed away, I was sitting in a campground, believe it or not, in Nashville, because I had moved there, and he died, and I still hadn't found a house or anything, so we're in the motorhome there at the campground. And after the funeral and all that stuff, I was sitting there thinking about Travis, and I finally wrote a song about him. And I always feel he can hear it when I do it. And he's never heard it in person because he hadn't been here in person. But he hears it spiritually, I'm sure. I'm going to do it for you. It's called Guitar in the Window. Hold on, the guitar is moving. Oh, by the way, this guitar is a Martin guitar with a Bigsby neck. This is the #1 of 100 that Martin made for the Merle Travis commemorative guitar. It's just like the original, except it doesn't have 60 years of wear up and down that neck where it's just like, oh, yeah. Oh, I don't know. Travis never tuned up. Why the hell should I? That November day, he came my way. The air was cold and the sky was gray, but a star shines bright ever since that night, and it was shining on that old Kentucky home. Well, he learned one day that he loved to play an old guitar that his brother Taylor made. He scrimped and he saved every dime that he made. Then he went downtown with one thing on his mind, to buy that guitar in the window with the body polished new, with silver strings that shine like the early morning dew. Gave up his last dollar just so he could play the blues. Oh, he loved it so, the guitar in the window. Well, that guitar knew everything that he do. Joy and pain, it would always see him through. Each singing it would play in that old familiar way. It gave 16 tons of pleasure in his life. Then the phone call came with the morning. The way I felt, I don't need to say. The news came fast without warning. A man from Kentucky passed away. Now the guitar in the window has got a body cracked and old. The silver strings are tarnished from all the picking, I suppose. The Hall of Fame has given his old friend a brand new home, but it's all alone with the guitar in the window. And how he loved that guitar in the window. Darnell.
That was the amazing guitar thumb picker, Thom Bresh. Tom played So Round, So Firm, So Fully Packed, Smoke, 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 Guitar in the Window, and the Cannonball Rag. This is Ozark Highlands Radio. Welcome back to Ozark Highlands Radio. Local historian and songwriter Charley Sandage has worn a lot of hats: park administrator, history teacher, television producer. Here's Charley with some history of the culture of the Ozarks.
For many who find themselves drawn to the voices of instruments and styles of playing them that seem to be echoes of times past, the Ozark Folk Center in Mountain View, Arkansas has come to be a special place, one that resonates with voices they find inside themselves. The same can be said of those who like the look and feel of some just-made treasure in wood or fabric or metal that is like a piece that could have belonged to their own great-great-grandparents, or those who find some time-honored story or piece of lore about how life is lived to have meaning for today. What then is the Ozark Folk Center, and how did it come to be in this place? The setting for that story is, of course, the Ozarks, a region that geologists tell us is an uplifted plateau that was cut through by ancient rivers of glacier melt, creating a system of deep valleys and rugged ridges of limestone and sandstone. It spreads over much of southern Missouri and northern Arkansas and trails off into other states, with Mountain View, Arkansas, at the eastern end of the dramatic Boston Mountain Range. The somewhat superficial version of the story of the people who formed the culture that the Ozark Folk Center celebrates is that they were mostly Scots-Irish immigrants who brought their traditions with them whole when they settled here during the mid-19th century. The more complete story, according to Elliot Hancock, who was a senior staff member at the center for over 25 years, is that the Scots-Irish ancestors of our Ozark settlers came mostly to the frontier regions of colonial-era United States, encountered and were influenced by German and other immigrants, by Native Americans, and of course, by others from the British Isles. By the time their steadily migrating descendants reached the Ozarks, their culture was pieced together like a traditional quilt top.
And so what they brought with them, and from what I have read of this, and from the people that I know here, they were industrious. They picked up the things that were useful to them, the things that they enjoyed, and the things that they liked. They didn't mind learning them from somebody else. They got the long rifle, log cabin, some of the music instruments, and some of the music they got from people that they lived among and who helped them survive. And when they came into the Ozarks, we didn't get a pure, people with a pure background, but people who had picked up things that were useful.
Features of that Ozark traditional culture persisted all across the region well into the mid-20th century, and some areas seem to be especially deep wells of old-time music, arts, crafts, and lore. Tom Simmons was mayor of Mountain View when the first of many steps were taken that led to the creation of the Folk Center, and he led the center during its first several years of operation in the early and mid-1970s. He recounts that when he first moved from Arlberg in the remote corner of Stone County to the county seat of Mountain View, that well of tradition was still running strong.
I moved to Mountain View in 1962 and opened an auto parts store, wholesale auto parts. And not long after I got my store open, there was a few people who was playing music, and the festivals was beginning to go at that time. And I thought, well, I might stock a few items and strings and picks and capos and such for the people, because there was not a music store in town. And so I got in touch with St. Louis Music Supply. And very shortly after that, one of their salespersons came by my store, and he brought a guitar and a banjo and a fiddle in and laid it up on the counter. But the amazing thing is, the first 5 or 6 mechanics that came in to buy parts picked up one or the other of those instruments and played it. The Wrinkle Brothers, Greg Moody, those people were all, Charles Johnson, they were all musicians.
In 1941, a music festival was held in the Shelter Cave area near Blanchard Springs Cavern, about 14 miles north of Mountain View. As in a few other places in the Ozarks, the event featured Ozark traditional music and lore, and this one was expected to become an annual event. But worldwide war intervened later that same year, and an annual festival seemed like a minor casualty compared to others the country came to suffer. 2 decades would pass before people would begin to gather once again in this community to celebrate Ozark traditions.
Thanks, Charlie. Let's hear a few more tunes from Thom Bresh. Thom received a Grammy nomination for the Merle Travis album Travis Pickin' and an Academy Award nomination for Over You, the theme song from the movie Tender Mercies.
Just a guitar boy, full of music and joy. Love fishing on the riverbank. My guitar's my favorite toy. Like it sweet and clean, and I like it rough and mean. That's why I'm a guitar boy. I'm a guitar boy. There's another guy that I was crazy about, and he and I were friends, oh God, the last almost 40 years of his life. But this guy I met when I was, I've known him so long, and I'm crazy about his talent. He's an actor, he's a singer, he's a songwriter, the greatest guitar thinker of all time, one of the best guitarists too. He would argue, I don't care, he's not here. He talks loud at you like this, see? Yeah. The boy's name is Jerry Reed. And I wrote a song about him. I'm going to do it for you now. It's called Reed, R-E-E-D, Between the Strings. Hold your applause. I know that's clever. I'm going to do it for you. And let me get my Jerry Reed mood here. Oh, we're getting it now. Well, it was 1960-something when I first became a fan. Elvis sang that drawn-out story about a funky kind of guitar man. Long way from that day is more than I could stand. Who's picking that for the king? Who's making that guitar ring? When he took his break, there was no mistake. It was Reed between the strings. Wasn't long till I heard this song about a man that they called Amos. Took my money to the record store, gonna help the dude get famous. No doubt I'd wear it out, 'cause I had to learn every lick. Yeah, I love to hear him sing, but the guitar always brings that unmistakability of read between the strings. He would play. Sing a while, then I'd smile, wait for him to say, son, yeah. Well, the bandit, you got the mirrors on. Saw that driver say that he was 20 feet high on a silver screen, and they come a long, long way. When the theme song came along, my head began to sway. I got to hear my buddy sing, see him do his movie thing. I was eastbound and getting down with reed between the strings. He would play. Sing a while, then I'd smile and wait for him to say, son, well, when you hot, you're hot. The wonders never cease. And when you're not, you're not. Well, you might as well rest in peace. But it ain't true, I'm telling you, he'll always be around. Like Rembrandt with his paints and the legends of Mark Twain. Stories told with heart and soul, read between the strings. I'm gonna pick a Jerry Reed song now. Here's the Noki Edwards list. Surf's up. Son. Thank you. Well. Anyway, I'm going to do you one more that kind of wraps the whole thing up. Come back and see us now. Don't let us down. And thank you very much for your hospitality and your warmth as always. Here's a song Travis wrote. It's Travis Weekend. I'm going to finish with my version of this Travis song. Well, some people go to school just to learn how to teach. Other people go to school to learn how to preach. Well, if you can't preach without going to school, you ain't no preacher, you're an educated fool, and that's all. Yeah, that's all. Better change your way of living, for the good Lord say that's all. I know a man, he's a miser man, likes to hoard and keep all the money that he can. Well, when that old undertaker goes and he puts you down, well, you're gonna spend that money under the ground, and that's all. that's all. Better change your way of living, for the good Lord say that's all. Comes from monkey, at least that's what some people say. But the good book don't quite tell it that way. If you believe that monkey tale like some people do, I'd rather be that monkey brother than you, and that's all. Yeah, that's all. Better change your way of living, for the good Lord say that's all. Well, now my little song is finished. My little show is through. Didn't necessarily mean to sing the song at you or you or you. And if you don't like the way my little song goes, that's a damn good sign. I've been tromping on your toes, and that's all. That's all. Better change your way of living, for the good Lord say that's all. Everybody clap your hands. Here we go. That's all. Yeah, that's all. Better change your way of living, for the good Lord say. What's he say? That's all. Broke my last first nail, I know it. That's all. Better change your way of living, for the good Lord say. That's all. Come out and see me. Good night, everybody.
That was thumb picker Thom Bresh doing Guitar Boy, Read Between the Strings, and That's All. Speaking of that's all for this week's show. I hope you enjoyed hearing Thom Bresh's great thumb picking. I'm Dave Smith. For everyone here at Ozark Highlands Radio, have a great week.
Ozark Highlands Radio is produced by Jeff Glover. Executive producer is Darren Dorton. Additional support for this program comes from Arkansas State Parks, a division of the Arkansas Department of Parks, Heritage, and Tourism, with 52 unique reasons to visit the natural state. On the web at arkansasstateparks.com. The Committee of 100 proudly supporting the Ozark Folk Center State Park since 1974. And by Stone Bank with roots in Mountain View, Arkansas. Stone Bank is a proud supporter of heritage musicians and small towns across America, with government-guaranteed loans for farmers, entrepreneurs, and communities. More information available at stonebank.com. For information on upcoming shows and events, we are on the web at ozarkhighlandsradio.com. Until next time, I'm Donna Farrar.